Hello guys, welcome and good day guys. So today we'll be talking about the private modifier. In the last lesson we talked about the default modifier. So if you are here to in that place also we explained what they call modifier, access modifier, and we took the first one, which is the default modifier. So in this lesson we are going to be taking the private modifier. So what do we mean by a private modifier? When a variable is private or a method is private, what does it mean? So this is what we have to know. This access modifier means that the access level is only within the class. It cannot be accessed outside that class. So only in that within that class that any variable or any method that is declared private can be accessed. For example, there are two things you need to note, two main things that you need to note about private modifiers. The first is that a class or an interface cannot be declared as private. You cannot declare a class as private. And secondly, the private methods or variables are only accessible within that class. So let's take a look. Let's take an example. Let's check our IntelliJ. So today we'll be creating. Let's create a class. Let's call it. Let's create a class. Right click, Java class. Then let's call this private mode. So in this private mode, I want us to declare two things, a method and a variable. Private int num equals to 45. Then let's have our private method, private void run method. Let's print out something there. This is the run method. Now let's create another class. So you can either create another class, or you can simply either create another class here, then you write what I'm about to write, or you can simply go down, move away from this curly brackets. From this curly bracket, this is the class. So move away from that. Then let's create another class. Let's call it class. Let's call it test private mod. Now let's create our main method here. So here we are going to be calling this class private mod. So we'll call private mod. Let's call private mod equals to new private mod. Now let's write private mod dot our, let's print it out. Private mod dot our num. We can see here that it gave us an error. Why? Because num has a private access in section 1 dot private mod. So it has a private access. That means that it cannot be accessed by another class, which is over here. So it gives us an error. For example, when we change this to public now, we see that the error went away. So once it's private, it means that it cannot be accessed. So when we run this now, we see num has private access in section 1 dot private mod. The same thing goes to a method also. For example, let's say that we have our private mod dot run method. So when we run this now, we see we get the same error just like what we got here. It said no, then it said the run has a private access in section 1.mod also. That is to say we cannot access it from another class. When we change both of them to public, we see that now we can be able to access the num and the run method. So when we run this now, we are able to print out what is written there. So that is what That is the main thing about the private modifiers. So a class or an interface cannot be declared as private. Let's take an example. Let's change this class to private. We see the error that it gave us. It said private modifier not allowed here. So you cannot declare a class as private. It is either default or is declared public. So that is all about private modifier. So in our next lesson, we'll be looking at our private modifiers, and we have looked at our private modifier. So in the next lessons, we'll be looking at our protected modifiers. So please don't forget to subscribe, share the video, like our videos. Thank you guys. Till next time, God bless you.